All right, hi everybody. My name is Lauren. I'm from Western University in Canada. And I did my paper on something called the Bioarchaeology of Care. So I'm just going to briefly talk to you about what that even is. So in archaeology, one of the ultimate goals is to understand how societies functioned in the past. And a lot of the time, these societies don't have written records or historical documents to go by. So archaeologists do this through analyzing objects found at excavation sites. These are often artifacts like ceramics or stone tools, or features like houses or temples. But sometimes skeletal material is found, and it's usually the job of an osteologist to analyze the bones. And in the past, skeletal remains were often described purely like biologically. So the researchers would focus on describing the age, the sex, the ancestry, any diseases that the skeleton had. But bioarchaeology is an emerging field, and I guess over here it's more commonly known as osteoarchaeology. And it actually can bring together both the biological identity and the social context to go one step further and actually provide important interpretations of human behavior in the past, and in turn focus on how human behaviors have changed and how societies have changed over time. So one of these behaviors is caregiving, and that's what I focused on. So knowing if members of an ancient community took the time and the effort to care for injured or sick individuals, especially those that would have required assistance to actually survive, that can tell us a lot about the values, the knowledge, the skills, the resources, the organization of a society. So it's pretty important. But I guess the main question is, how can we tell if an individual is cared for just by looking at their skeletal remains? And actually, one doctor, Dr. Lorna Tilley, she came up with a pretty recent methodological approach for bioarchaeologists to follow. And it's 4 stages, and my paper just kind of talked about the limitations and analyzed what this methodology could do. So stage 1 is like a description and a differential diagnosis of the skeleton. Stage 2 identifies the clinical and functional impact of the condition and determined if care was actually needed. Goes on to produce a model of what kind of care would have been needed, and then stage 4 is just to interpret. And I also concluded that along with methods, it's also important to include social theory and evolutionary theory into this type of analysis. And overall, even though bioarchaeology of care is a pretty recent theme, it's a unique and critical perspective on human behavior that is important for archaeologists and everyone in the learning of humanity.